Okay, here is Mr. Teddy 2. Well, his name is actually just Teddy 2 and spelled Too. He has a great name. I love it. And I think I've just been calling him Ted, which I think fits him perfectly. Teddy 2 is a huge 3-year-old. He's unraced. He has a handful of published works from the beginning part of this year, but they were pretty unimpressive, so it makes sense why his connections decided not to even bother making a start. When Billy picked him up, he was talking to one of the connections who just said that, they really loved this horse and they babied him and they were probably too soft on him, but that's okay. He'll go on to another career and do great things, and he's going to make a lovely sport horse for somebody, and he certainly will. He's just massive. I mean, he was advertised to me as 17 hands, and of course, I haven't stuck him yet because for some reason that's so hard for me to remember to do. But I think he is 17 hands. If he's not, then he's right around 17 hands. He's quite a large horse to be standing next to, which is crazy because he's just a 3-year-old and he still has a lot more growing to do. So he's definitely for somebody who wants a really big horse. I can't wait to see what he looks like when he's like 6 or 7 years old, all filled out and probably even taller than he already is. So Ted came from Indiana and he arrived missing his left front shoe, which if you click through his Flickr album, you can see that in the leg and feet pictures we took. Sorry, that was hard to get out. Now, normally I would never ride a horse without a shoe on, or I would at least just put a boot on to try and get one ride in while I wait for the farrier. But I gotta tell you that when we unloaded him on our driveway, which is gravel, and when I took him off the trailer, he just sort of hopped across the driveway like no big deal. I didn't even realize he was missing the shoe. Normally, if they're, missing a shoe and they walk across gravel, they're pretty darn sore, and he didn't bat an eye. So I don't know how long that shoe's been missing, but either it's been quite a while and he has toughened up in the meantime, or he does have really nice looking feet also, which is, of course, super helpful. His feet must just be superb because he is absolutely unbothered by not having that shoe on. So I did go ahead and do this ride, and he's totally fine. It is he's one of the rare TBs who is going to be fine, I think. Now, of course, I'm going to put front shoes on him because I generally think that as I'm asking them to get going and do some new harder stuff, and right now we haven't had rain in ages, so the ground is super hard. I'm going to help him out and put some front shoes on him. But if it's really important to somebody that they have a thoroughbred with fantastic feet who could probably go barefoot on good footing, that is definitely this kid. He is a contender for that job. So he's an unraced 3-year-old, which means that he's quite green. He's not like there's different levels of green, of course. Like Pando, for example, who I rode yesterday. That's a 6-year-old with 30-something starts all across the country. So while he is green to being a sport horse, he is not green to being a riding horse. He's been ridden hundreds of times all over the place in all kinds of different situations. He totally is not the same level as green as an unraced 3-year-old is. So this horse is very green. We're working on things like steering, and actually, he really got the steering quite beautifully in the trot. I have to say, I think that this actually looks so good. And then as he got the steering and the straightness sort of figured out, he really started softening, and he makes a beautiful shape. So he is a wonderful brained horse, and he's lovely, and he's going to be all the amazing things for somebody. But if you take this horse, you have to be okay. You have to understand that you're starting from scratch. You are installing like the most basic buttons there are, like steering, going, woeing, all that stuff. He's very safe to get on. I was not worried at all about swinging over him today. He came out to the ring just totally cool, calm, and composed. He stood great at the mounting block. We don't have video of that because it was just me and Billy today. My mom wasn't out there, so there was just no extra person to take video of the mounting block. But certainly the next time I ride him, I won't need somebody at his head. He was great at the block. He was happy to walk around for as long as I wanted to before we started trotting. But yeah, he needs all the most basic buttons installed. So most definitely needs to go to somebody who is happy and wanting to take on a very cool project. But you're going to have an amazing horse at the end of it because he is quite lovely. So where the steering got really good in the walk and the trot today. He started finding the connection. All that stuff was brilliant. The canter is, of course, the canter is going to be much harder than the walk and the trot for a couple of reasons. One, he's enormous and he's just a baby 3-year-old. So he's still trying to just figure out his own balance, and he's got quite a big canter. Of course, he should. He's a big horse. He should have a big ground covering canter. So all of that matches up. But it's a lot for him to, put together and figure out. And it's not like he's been doing this for a long time. So, of course, the canter is going to be more challenging. So we canter to the right. We'll get back to the left on another day. It just sort of felt like it was enough. I actually thought that was a pretty good transition there to the right. And so I'm staying on the 20-meter circle because, of course, I'm letting the circle sort of help me to help him to find the bend to the right and sort of establish the outside aids and keep that outside shoulder under control. But actually, without me even, I'm not even thinking about the contact at this point. Him being round is not even something that's processing in my brain. I'm worried about the steering and the balance and all that stuff. And you can see we had a little momentary loss of steering there, but we did make the right turn. But he's just on his own wanting to be round. So certainly he's going to be a horse that's very soft and easy in the bridle. And then you can see there he broke. But I thought that was plenty for his first ride. Teddy is the total sweetheart on the ground. He doesn't like treats yet, which is interesting. I think he's just never been exposed to them. So we're trying to get him to open up to eating some treats. We haven't been successful yet. But we'll get him there. He'll certainly figure it out. He's very friendly, very inquisitive about everything that we're doing and what's going on around him, but without being nervous at all. This is how he is all the time. He's just a big, goofy cutie. He's excellent on cross ties. He loves the water. There's a clip of him here after this. This is tacking up to go out to the ring. And there's a clip of him playing in the hose after our ride. He was very cute about that. He really likes that. So just super big, sweet horse. He does have an old scar on his right haunch, which there's lots of pictures of in his Flickr album. It's just a scar. I guess they didn't notice it for quite some time. It happened when he was a little baby. So it kind of healed up on its own, which is why it has such a large scar, because it just was left to heal to its own devices. But when his current connections got him as a yearling, it was already old. So it is very old. And that's it. It's just a scar.
Yeah, really getting into it now.